The division of responsibility was supposed to be quite clear between the two of us. David cries, and I speak, but I'm not quite sure. Then that's going to work. So let's see how it goes. I've written in big print, he can take over. Studying and preparing to be a bat mitzvah and standing up on this bima before family and friends is difficult for any young Jewish person. But Daddy and I have special admiration for you today, Madeline, because you did a beautiful job of your bat mitzvah. And because you did so while standing proudly before a community that is uniquely diverse. As I look around this room, in addition to your Jewish family and community, I see friends, family, and a larger community who represent a multitude of faiths and ethnicities, with whom we have celebrated Easter, Christmas, Hari Raya, Diwali, Chinese New Year, Rosh Hashanah, and Hanukkah. For that, you and we are truly blessed. In a world that is broken, and where millions of people use the differences between them and another as a basis for discrimination, violence, and even war, in contrast, you are surrounded by a culturally and ethnically diverse community who are all here today because we love you. Daddy and I promise you that your life will be richer for this diversity and these very differences. And your life will be richer still if in the face of such diversity you hold on to a firm idea of who you are and celebrate the differences between yourself and others rather than trying to be the same as anyone else. Today is the first step in sharing an important part of who you are with other people. We are very proud of you, particularly because we know there is pressure to conform. But your bat mitzvah is only a beginning, even if there is finally an end to the Hebrew lessons and to the hard work you've undertaken to get to this day. And as your dad and I look forward to your future, we too have reflected on the concept of leadership and have a few observations to add to the lovely reflections that you shared with the community this morning. The Hebrew word for leadership derives from the root also found in the word behavior. For Judaism, as your Torah portion underscores, leadership is about behavior and action. And because leadership is about behavior and action, it is essentially about choice and how you choose to answer two critical questions. Where do you want to go in your journey through life? And what decisions will you make along the way? Many people are essentially passive, reacting to life's circumstances and going where life takes them. But if you choose, you can be a leader, which in the long run is infinitely more rewarding. As your Torah portion teaches us, leadership doesn't start with prestige, power, a following, or a bloodline. It begins with you and with a decision to take action. You are probably standing beside me thinking, who am I to lead? And in asking that question, you're in great company. The greatest biblical leaders doubted their own ability to lead. Moses said, who am I? They will not follow me. I am not a man of words. And Jonah, as you know, faced with the challenge of leadership, ran away from God and into the belly of a whale. But leaders lead even if they are afraid, because there is work to do, there are people in need, there is injustice to be fought, and because they know that it is wrong to stand idly by and expect others to do the work of tikkun olam, or repairing this world. We hope that the lessons you have learned about leadership inspire you to lead and serve others in whatever area is your passion. You may also be standing here today wondering why there are tears in our eyes today, even when we are celebrating a special occasion with you. So let me explain. Your dad and I cry because we know that today is one of the very few times in your life where nearly everyone who cares about you is in the same room at the same time. We cry because there are many people we love and desperately miss, grandparents, uncles, and dear friends who have passed away but should be with us today. We cry because we can't believe we have a 13-year-old daughter. We cry out of sadness that yet another chapter of your life is closing. And we cry because we're frustrated that you can't possibly comprehend why this day and this moment is so compelling. Daddy and I know that you won't fully appreciate how we feel, until you're standing on a bema talking to your own child many years from now. We know this because we didn't get it. During all those times that our own parents, the people with the Kleenex in the front, cried at the various milestones in our lives. And finally we cry because despite our efforts to find them, no words can ever articulate how much we love you and all of the hopes we have for you, for your future. And so, Maddie, today in the presence of family and friends, we offer you this blessing. May your kindness to all lead you to a life filled with loving friends and family. May your tendency to help those less fortunate than you lead you to a life filled with acts of good deeds. May your common sense and wisdom lead you to a life filled with well-thought-out decisions. May your intelligence and curiosity lead you to a lifetime of study and a career or careers that you are passionate about. May your inner beauty and sensitivity help enhance the splendor of the world we live in. May your quiet strength lead you to a life where you continue to make good choices, even when they may not be popular with others. May you embrace life to the fullest. May you confront your fears and not allow them to paralyze you in pursuing your dreams. May you appreciate the gift of family and of having a sibling, because they love you no matter who you are. And may you one day fully appreciate the extraordinary gifts that you have been given of empathy, kindness, intelligence, and beauty. We love you so very much. Mazel tov.
I just want to call attention to Ilana Lila, who's seated in the second row here, and who played such an important role, not only in Maddie's preparation, but in the preparation of so many youngsters in the UAC community over the last number of years. She really is an angel, and she lights up the room in joy when she sees the product of her work and her tutelage. And so, Ilana and her soul, we thank you very, very much. Maddie, you really have been spectacular today. The chanting, the reading, the teaching, everything about it has been truly wonderful. I've had, as Brian has, the good fortune to know you since you were but an infant. And now, quite clearly, you have blossomed into a mature and wonderful young woman. You can be very proud of what you have accomplished, and in that accomplishment, you have made your parents, your grandparents, and your brother very proud as well. I suspect that if the American Club would loosen up a bit and had allowed Phineas and Juniper to attend, they'd be wagging their tails. In your speech this morning, you offered your understanding of what the Torah teaches us about the qualities of leadership and how you see some of those qualities exemplified in a variety of settings and by a variety of role models. In particular, you taught us why Joshua was designated to inherit the mantle of leadership from Moses. You mentioned that in verse 23 of Deuteronomy 31, God tells Joshua, "Be strong and resolute, for you shall bring the Israelites into the land that I promised them." Isn't it so very interesting that in verse 7 of the same chapter, God is quoted as telling Joshua, "Be strong and resolute, for you shall go with this people into the land I have promised them." When we look at those two verses appearing together in the same chapter, worded almost identically, except that in one instance, Joshua understands that he is to bring the Israelites, and in the other, he would simply accompany the Israelites. We are reminded that one of the qualities of a capable leader is to know when persuasion is necessary and when it is not. The failure to make that distinction means that the leader is not really reading the mood of the people accurately. It also acknowledges that the collective mood of the people may change from time to time. And in this way, your Torah portion, Maddie, conveys a subtle but important concept that every leader needs to keep in mind. Yes, leadership is about courage, as you have suggested. It is also, as you have taught us, about loyalty and patience, and a willingness to step forward and commit time and energy to some project or organization that we value. But it is also very much about what we sometimes call people skills. It's not so easy to define the term people skills, but among other things, it is a category that encompasses sensitivity to others, the capacity to listen carefully, the ability to manage one's anger, and having a sense of humor doesn't hurt. Indeed, sharing a good laugh often can reduce tension and win over a skeptic. Maddie, knowing full well the values your parents have imparted to you, and watching you grow up as I have, gives me the confidence to predict that one day, years from now, some young man or woman celebrating his or her bar or bat mitzvah with this Torah portion will mention you as someone he or she has come to admire as a leader, whether in the classroom or in a congregation, or perhaps, heaven help us, even in a law firm. As a recovering lawyer, I can make that. In short, we, all of us who are here today, your family, your friends, and your UHC community, see a very bright future in store for you. King Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Amen. Amen. And now, Maddie, I invite you to stand in front of the ark with the cantor and me as we do a blessing for you. May God bless you and keep you. May God always be with you and be gracious to you. God always show you God's kindness and give you the greatest of all gifts, a sense of inner peace. Now, as we move toward the reading of the Kaddish, there is a preliminary prayer, which I know is a favorite of Catherine's, and I invite everyone to join me. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and rot in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. All that's left of me is love. Give me away. Now we turn to the Kaddish itself, 294 and 598, and we join together. Yivkadal v'yivkadal shemei rabah, Yoramad yivkadal Yimlik v'kutei, V'kayet on v'yomekon v'kayet kol eitz Yisrael, Ba'akalav v'smachari yiru amen, Yehei shmei rabah v'barak v'yalam v'yalam, Yitbarak v'yishtabach 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 v'yishtabach, Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitamal shnei kudushav v'yichu, Le'ela minko yirchata v'shirata, Shishkata v'hekemata, Na'amiram v'yamah v'yibru amen, Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, V'kayim amen v'yakol Yisrael v'yibru amen, Oseh shalom v'yimamah, Hu yaseh shalom, Yaleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yibru